Skinwalkers, eh? Couldn't be skin trotters or flesh walkers or skin runners. I guess all of those things would have been too fast. Our movie for the day is Night of the Skinwalkers, directed and written by novelist and philosopher Michael Szymczyk. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. This is his fifth movie. Based on that knowledge alone, I really hope you don't request that I watch any of his first four. This one hurt. It came out this year, 2024. The genre is horror, I guess. The musical score certainly wants me to think it's scary. Most of the first act consists of mundane dialogue over tense music. Yes, that's what this movie counts as foreshadowing. The story centers around a group of friends who travel to a vacation home, only to eventually find it the site of an alien invasion. But things are not as all they seem. The movie opens with tense music over stock footage of Egyptian landmarks and hieroglyphics. Then, best I can tell, we're jumped forward to present day, where several groups of friends are traveling to a vacation spot in various cars. They all speak in American accents and wear normal attire. Now, I will say, there is a twist in this movie. I won't say what the twist is, but ultimately the twist breaks down the characters into three groups. Characters who are in on the twist, characters who don't know about the twist, and characters who don't care about the twist. That will be important if you watch the movie, but I'm strongly advising you don't. They arrive at the house, and we are told over and over and over again, hey, I don't get cell service here. Do you get cell service here? I don't get cell service here. Maybe we can get the cell service back. I don't have phone service. I think I counted at least 6 instances of people telling us that they didn't have phone reception in this place. I have not taken Aaron Sorkin's masterclass on screenwriting, but I have watched the trailer in which he says the worst crime you can commit is telling the audience something they already know. This movie commits that crime a lot. At the house, the ladies deride Misty for taking large, smelly bowel movements. I guess that's what this movie counts as humor, and it calls back to it on multiple occasions. We learn soap opera bits of exposition. Who likes who's sleeping with who may be pregnant from whom, who might be friends with benefits or marriage material. None of that matters, because it doesn't play into anything in this plot. Then, all this conversation has been happening on a porch in the daylight, and one character just produces a book. Hey, I found this book. And they open the book and they look at it. And it looks like it was rendered by a competent 8th grader with a black ballpoint pen. I don't know if any of you have seen the Evil Dead movies, but there's a prominent tome in those films called the Necronomicon. It's supposedly bound in human flesh. You can see teeth and eyes and details on it. And then you open it up and it's inked in blood. Or at least, calls it blood. It's obviously just red ink. But anyway, the Evil Dead movies actually seem to take some effort with their scary book. This movie did not. Necronomicon, this ain't. They read the book. It says stuff about Egypt, aliens, skinwalkers. None of it really matters, and none of it is interesting. One of the guys says he needs a couple things from town. The script doesn't even bother to tell us what. On his drive into town, he encounters a couple in a broken down car. The girl is dressed normally. The guy is wearing lederhosen. He doesn't have a European accent. No one says, why are you wearing lederhosen? Or nice lederhosen? Or what's up with the lederhosen? His archaic European costume is never addressed. It's just a character wearing lederhosen. Was it a director's choice? Was it an actor's choice? Did the script specify it? No clue. It's extremely distracting. The lederhosen couple tell us that they were camping and their car broke down, and the guy says, okay, well, come home, or come back to the place with us, and you can stay there until we get help. And he takes them back to the house. I guess he didn't need to buy things that badly. They all eat a spaghetti dinner. Lederhosen guy eats with his hands. He apologizes. I'm sorry, I'm used to eating at a campsite, because as we all know, utensils are forbidden at campsites. Eventually, things go bump in the night. We get hints of an alien invasion. And when I say alien invasion, I mean singular. One alien invades and prances around the house and the grounds. And in the night, they search the entire house for this alien. The basement contains the twist. Later on, characters go into the basement and learn the twist because brightly lit with fluorescent light is the explanation of the twist. But apparently, characters who are not in on the twist search the entire house and learn nothing. The basement isn't locked. It's not remote. I don't know why the characters don't go in there. There's a bit where they're chasing the alien around outside, and it jumps on the roof of the house that we are told is 10 feet high. This harkens back to the far superior 2002 movie, Signs. One of my pet peeves watching movies is, particularly independent films, is when they reference a better movie that I'd rather be watching. And I'm just bristling as I see this. They're ripping off Signs. Sure enough, a little bit later, this movie actually admits, hey, that's kind of like what happened in the movie Signs. As if admitting to stealing from Signs somehow makes it better. It's parasitic at best, and plagiaristic at worst. I don't see the reason for it. Finally, we get the twist, and it is a major letdown, and then there's sort of a double twist because there are characters who don't care about the twist because they're doing their own thing anyway. There are random themes and messages through the first act that almost entirely feels like filler to me. It doesn't set up for anything. Hear about an electric vehicle, the bad economy, things are bad now, there's deception. None of these things go anywhere or have any kind of relevance. The themes aren't explored. There's no socio-cultural commentary. There's nothing relevant in here to any audience. The actors are good looking, but the dialogue they are required to deliver is so stilted and expository and unnatural and awful that I don't know if they're good actors or not. They're doing a terrible job with this terrible script, but I don't think De Niro could have saved this script. The way a good actor addresses a script this bad is decline it. The cast has no chemistry. I can't fathom how Michael Szymczyk has made 5 movies and learned so little. This is a completely ineffective story. It reads as the work of an absolute novice. The cinematography is poorly covered. There aren't enough camera angles, so that impacts the editing in a negative way. Sometimes the lighting is decent, sometimes it doesn't feel very deliberate at all. The movie apparently cost $3,000 to make. It looks like most of that went into procuring a drone, which the cinematographer likes using a lot more than it seems like is appropriate. It gets some decent shots. They don't cut together particularly well, but on an individual basis, they look nice, I guess. The set design, it's not set design, it's a house that somebody owns. I don't know if it's Michael Szymczyk himself or a friend of his. Somebody's got a house and he wanted to make a movie, and that's how they came to shoot in this house. There is no aesthetic appeal here. The original score feels nondescript, except for one movement by Mozart that feels like it was used for cognitive dissonance. Didn't really work for me. for the most part, the music is relatively suited to the scenes. There's one instance where three ladies have opened wine coolers, and there's, hey, let's drink. And then there's a jump scare music cue. Just a very loud, percussive, but nothing jumps out. It's a wide shot, super wide shot of the drone overhead, seeing these ladies on the beach. The use of a jump scare in horror movies is somewhat controversial. Some people like it, some people think it's a cheap ploy. One thing I think both sides can agree on is you shouldn't use a jump scare music cue and not have it line up with a jump scare. There's a moment later in the film where somebody closes a door and somebody's standing behind it, and that startles the person, but there's no music cue. There's no buh to startle us. It's just not really well thought through. I can't see this movie having any emotional impact. Don't think an audience is going to be very engaged or have a strong reaction to it. I don't think a very large audience is going to see this film, and it has no potential cultural or societal significance. Again, the strengths of the movie is the actors are pretty good looking and with a decent script that was written in a way to give characters objectives, intentions, obstacles, that classic Aristotelian dramatic stuff that we need for a story to be recognizable as a story. Then maybe I would know if they were good actors. With what I'm given here, I can't judge that. And I can't recommend this movie. There is a threshold of competence that a project has to clear if it's going to appeal to people who are not just watching it due to social pressure. Hey, I made this movie, I was involved in this movie, will you watch it? I don't think anybody's going to watch this movie unless they are personally involved or acquainted with somebody who made the movie. I'm actually curious as to whether my boss, who assigned me this review of this film, is somehow personally acquainted with somebody who made this movie, because I can't fathom any other reason somebody would watch this. It's just, the quality is not there. And that's it. Feel free to like the video, subscribe, share it around, and all that. If you've got any other movies you'd like me to see, review, like this channel to review, drop them in the notifications. Please, for my sake, don't make me watch another movie by this director. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.